Welcome into the February 6th edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast. I'm Mike DiStefano with Dave Morassutti. NHL All-Star Weekend in the rearview mirror. We'll chat about the events and all the juicy storylines that came from it, including where the 2024 All-Star Game is going to be hosted, which could be of some significant interest to those listening to this podcast in particular. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And also Gary Bettman talked a little bit about some stuff too. So we'll break that down, him chatting the State of Union address as he always does. So lots to break down on today's show. All that more coming up on the Locked On Leafs podcast.
Your Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, your one-stop shop for all things Leafs. I'm your host, Mike DiStefano from TSN 1050 Toronto Radio, also known as Al's brother on TSN's Overdrive and TSN 1050's Leafs Lunch. Joining me, it's my co-host, Dave Morassutti from Sportsnet, also a writer for the NHLPA. Locked On Leafs is a daily Maple Leaf-centric podcast, so be sure to subscribe for free wherever you get your podcast from. You can also find us on YouTube as well, Locked On Leafs. Hit subscribe and get new daily videos Monday through Friday. It's all Leafs all the time. This episode is brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook app, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. Dave, did you enjoy your All-Star Weekend, my friend? What's going on? How's your Monday, or how was your weekend, I guess? Well, then we'll get into Monday, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, again, another weekend where it kind of felt weird because previous weekend, no Leafs on a Saturday night, and another Saturday night, no Leafs. So I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with myself? So someone I know messaged me. He's like, hey, there's no hockey tonight. You want to just like hang out, go work out, chill out, and like our buddies has a condo with a hot tub. I'm like, yeah, instead of just sitting around not doing anything, might as well get active. My body's just like, you don't work out on a Saturday night. Never again.
You're feeling it? You're feeling it today?
You know what? Like, I do a lot of cardio workouts, like swimming and things like that. I decided to add in some like machines and stuff. And I'm feeling it.
Dude, it's the worst because like I haven't done swimming in a long time. So I also like live in a condo building that has a swimming pool. So the other day, I frequent the hot tub, but I don't really do laps all too often anymore. But the one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to go do some laps. And boy, I exercised a couple of muscles that I had not done in a long time. I also was feeling it for a couple of days there. But hey, man, no pain, no gain, as they say. Although there was some pain watching that All-Star break as we transition into like, I don't honestly, you know what's unfortunate? We were kind of, I won't say excited, but like, the All-Star, at least the skills comp, like the game is whatever. No one actually cares about the game. Yeah. But the skills comp itself, like we were somewhat excited about. There's some fun, some new events that sounded kind of cool. And you always want to see harder shot, breakaway challenge, what creativity can these guys come up with? But like, dude, this might have been one of the worst All-Star skills comps that I've watched. Like first of all, it was all over the place. Like, why can't they just do everything like in a row, right? Like, do your fastest skater, boom, 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 that's done. All right, let's move on now to the 10-10 and move to the accuracy. They like, I don't know what the hell they were doing. They were just like doing preliminary rounds and then like semifinal heats and then finals. And it's like, why? Just finish out the event. I don't want to have to come back to watch and see who won the pitch and putt or whatever the hell it was called. I really did not care about it. I just, the way that they packaged the whole thing, to me, it wasn't for me. I'll be honest, was not for me this year.
You could tell in a lot of ways they were trying too hard. When you're trying too hard to make something somewhat entertaining or fun, it's not really going to work, because the best way to entertain people is in an organic way and not in a forced way. I'll give some of these guys A's for effort, but the execution and the entertainment factor was way down. Like, yeah, the whole thing about the fastest skater, like, just get this done. Like, why does this have to be a whole night event? Hardest shot. It took forever for the hardest shot to get done. Like, the accuracy shooting, like, it's not.
That's one. Like, at least hardest shot. I think hardest shot was pretty. That one was a what. But like the accuracy shooting one was annoying as hell. Because honestly, I didn't know that there was going to be like multiple rounds of this stuff. So I thought McDavid, boom, he did it. He won. He had the best time. He got all 4 targets. And then I find out later in the night, no, actually, Brock Nelson ended up winning. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Why was there more rounds of this stuff? Like, honestly, it just dragged it on for so long.
At
The
least
breakaway challenge, like the breakaway challenge too. They just kind of threw them in sporadically throughout the night. Like, it started with Marner, and then like, I don't know, half hour later, Ovi, Sid, and I mean, Ovi's kid coming out was kind of cute, but also, like, I mean, it was cute, but also I was excited to see what Ovi and Sid could do. I mean, to be honest, I thank Sergey, sure, but I wanted them to do something cool together. Apparently, Marner watched his shot,
Yeah, Luongo said that wasn't the plan.
Yeah, because I saw him, I was like, what the hell was that? Like, I was skeptical. Like, that whole day, I'm like, this guy, I don't like. He's not really a creative guy when it comes to breakaways. I don't know. Like, he just doesn't seem like a creative dude to me. Yeah, he was rocking the Miami Vice. He had the white pants and the shades and everything. Like, yeah, okay, he had the good outfit, but boy, did he ever mess it up once he got onto the ice like that. I don't know what the hell he was supposed to do, but that was not it, apparently.
Like, I tweeted out, I said, I hope Marner didn't spend a lot of time practicing that, just because that would have been.
It shows that he didn't, I think.
Well, yeah, like, who knows how many times they did the video. They probably spent more time going through that, how to get that video done, than Marner thinking, what the heck am I going to do on this shootout? He probably literally just said, Luongo, I'm coming in this way, and this is what you got to look out for. That didn't happen.
No. So it is what it is. We assumed that it would end up going to Sid Novi, and then once the kid got involved, yeah, they all got pity 10s. But, like, I don't know. The breakaway challenge fell flat. Fastest skater, Cale Makar went down. So that kind of fell flat a little bit, and then Svechnikov ends up winning it. The Tendy tandem was really dumb. I honestly thought it was just a stupid event. That wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
The only thing that saved it was seeing the women's hockey players actually show
Sarah Nurse,
like, legitimately caring about it, and like almost having 2 bar down snipes.
Well, Sarah Nurse did the Forsberg. Yeah, did a little Forsberg. That was sick on Igor Shesterkin. Yeah, that was cool. But, like, honestly, outside of that, did you see Greg Wyshynski's tweet about the splash shot controversy?
No, what happened?
So apparently the surfboards on the right side weren't going down as easy they were on the left. So if you'll notice, everybody who was on the left side shooting at the left surfboards advanced, and the right weren't because they weren't falling as easy as the ones on the left were. So some sort of controversy apparently about that.
I will say watching Shesterkin shoot at that with the goalie stick was impressive as heck.
That was. Oh, and you'll notice they used the left side once they got to the championship, by the way. They didn't use the right side, and they didn't do it as at the same time. They just used the left, and I think that's why.
It would make sense. That would make sense.
But that was hella impressive. I'll say that. It was. I don't think they won. They didn't. I know they didn't. It was Makar and Rantanen won, right?
Yes. Rantanen was. You know what? I will say it did show me that Rantanen's got a very underrated shot.
Yeah. Rantanen's a good player. Like, he's got like 30-something goals this year. He's one of the most underrated players in the NHL. He's like 5th or 6th in scoring this year.
Oh no, he's an amazing player. He's kind of stuck behind McKinnon and Makar. And
exactly. So. Yeah. The pitch and puck. Nick Suzuki won it and apparently was given a year of free Chipotle. And they're like, oh, it is like, well, we don't have a Chipotle in Montreal, so I guess I know what I'm eating on the road.
Like,
I'm surprised. Like, there's a few here in Toronto. I'm surprised there's none in Montreal.
It's huge in Toronto. And actually, I was saying that's an amazing price because I haven't been to Chipotle in a while, but it's gotten very expensive. So like that's
everything, man. Everything's gotten expensive.
But like that's no, I was just, but at least when he's not in Montreal, he can, I guess, take use of that. But the guy also makes pretty decent money, so I think the last thing we need to worry about is Nick Suzuki getting his money's worth out of Chipotle.
For that Chipotle Vine from back in the day.
Oh God, that's like you're like dating us when you're saying Vine,
dude. I know. So look up I love Chipotle Vine. Okay, I want you to look it up and then play the video. I need you to do it. I can't do it because my computer basically just malfunctions anytime I try to look anything up while we're recording live. And then we get the people in the comments saying I need to get new equipment. So we don't need that. So if you could pull that up, that'd be fantastic. But I can't think about Chipotle with not thinking about this kid. Like, honestly, I think this kid deserves a lot of money from Chipotle. Yeah, this is the one.
Oh my God, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my
life. Anytime I hear or think about Chipotle, I just think about this kid. Just like, Chipotle is my life. I love it so much. It's so funny. I don't know why. It's just every time. So Nick Suzuki gets Chipotle for a year, but apparently no Chipotles in Montreal. Maybe he should bring one to Montreal. He's got the money. Maybe he should fund one and get one down there. Suzuki's Chipotle.
Hey, I'm sure they would love an NHL player to franchise one.
Yeah, probably
the most popular Chipotle out there in Canada.
Probably. Elias Pettersson wins hardest shot. Did you see that coming?
You kind of hinted at that.
He's got a sneaky good shot. I didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah.
But I knew he had a sneaky good shot. He was the only one to break 100. He had like 103.2 or something like that. The only one to break 100.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Like, this is why it was so lackluster, because back in the day, as I said in the preview, watching Shea Weber as down charge just absolutely destroy pucks was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Now we got guys barely, but the other thing is because guys don't take slap shots anymore. Not many guys take slap shots. So how many guys are practicing just wiring slap shots?
That's true. That's a good point. Not a whole lot.
Didn't Pettersson say that his flex wasn't going to make his shot go as hard? So I don't think he had a really strong of a flex as apparently the flex makes a huge difference in terms of how hard you hit the puck.
Absolutely it does. More flex, the harder you're going to shoot it. But did you see his face afterwards though when he saw the 102.9 or 103.2, whatever the heck the final was? Made didn't think I could shoot that hard kind of face.
Yeah.
It was really funny. That was good. All right. On the other side, let's talk a little bit about the big news that we got in terms of where the All-Star Game is heading to next year. So we'll chat about that, some of the stuff that Gary Bettman was touching on, some of the comments coming from some of the star players about the playoff format. We'll touch on all that and more when we return. But first, let me tell you about one of today's show sponsors, and that, of course, is the the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the #1 sportsbook in America. It's FanDuel, and if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features to make betting on sports fun and easy. You can download the FanDuel app now so you can start betting on Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get the first $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on on everything from money line to point spreads to who's going to score a touchdown. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe and secure, easy to use. Best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL and the Locked On Network. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. It's Mike DiStefano and Dave Morassutti. We're your hosts here at Locked On Leafs. A couple other newsy items that came out of All-Star Weekend. So it's not necessarily always about just the events like the skills comp and then the All-Star Game, in which you were right, by the way, actually. Atlantic win. You took the Atlantic to win. So they did. Makachuk got MVP in his hometown. Well, home city, I suppose.
Yeah.
For his team. But sometimes the stuff that I find most appealing, I suppose, coming at All-Star break is the news that comes out from like Gary Bettman when he does his State of Union address and some of the stuff that we learn about the league. Sometimes they talk about the salary cap, what's going on with, the financials of the league and whatnot, where the following season's All-Star Game is going to be. That announcement always comes on All-Star Weekend. And we got the answer for 2024. It's coming to the 6th, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming to Toronto, Ontario. The Maple Leafs will be hosting the 2024 All-Star Game. It'll be the first time that's been in Toronto since 2000. 2000. You and I were 6 years old last time that the All-Star was in Toronto. I think Brendan Shanahan was talking about it when they announced it, and it was funny. He looked over and he said, Mitch said he was like 2 or 3 years old or something. Doesn't even remember it. Shanahan was there, actually. Yeah. And Mitch doesn't even remember watching the game. So pretty cool that it's going to be in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, you're just dating me back to when I used to play on my on my computer. I had a demo of NHL like 2002.
I was going to say, I had NHL 2000 for my computer as well. I had no idea. Okay, true story. Okay. So I first got this game, and I didn't really know what I was doing, obviously, because I was like 6 years old. I don't think my parents really knew what the hell they were doing either. Like, this is how new computers and internet and all this stuff was back then. So I get NHL 2000. I pop it into the little CD-ROM, put in the CD driver, and I'm sitting there and I'm playing. My dad comes like 2 hours later, and he's like, You're not doing anything. Like, you're not playing. I'm like, yeah, man. And he looks at me and he's like, no, this is demo mode. You've been watching a demo for 2 hours. It was the computers playing each other because I didn't pick a side or something like that. And I've been sitting there thinking I was playing, but it was just the computer playing each other in like a demo mode. I was like, oh my God, I'll never forget. Scarred.
Actually, now that you mention it, it was NHL 2000 because Chris Pronger was on the cover, I believe. And I used to use the same move every time to score on the goalie. Wrap around, come around the net. The goalie couldn't go left to right very quickly, and I would just score every time.
Nice.
And my brother's like, you're cheating. I'm like, it's the only way I know how to score.
That's it.
Those games are fun.
Well, I was like growing up, like NHL 14, just every single time you could easily score on just like a cross-ice one-timer.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing like NHL 08, right? You win the face-off, you get on a breakaway, backhand, forehand, top shelf, goal every time. Every time. It was so very easy to win those games back in the day. Much more sophisticated in the AI in the computer.
I have not played a single NHL game since NHL, whichever one Austin Matthews was on the cover of.
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
The last time I played an NHL game.
I bought this year's. I opened it. I played it. I think 2 now is like today. And now I sound very old man yelling at a cloud. But like you got to wait for this stuff to download onto your computer, onto your like PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that itself takes like 45 minutes. I just don't have the patience for it. But anyway, so it downloaded on, and then I played for maybe 3 hours one night, and then I was like, I'm bored of this. So I went, spent like $100 on the brand new game, played it for 3 hours, and I haven't touched it since. I was like, that's it. I was just thinking that today, though, because I also bought Madden the same day, This was, I think, on Black Friday. So I got them on sale.
Mhm.
So you paid $100 for both of them, actually. But Madden, I haven't even taken it out of the wrapper. Like, so it's been there for like 3 months. Haven't even taken it out of the wrapper yet.
I don't know how. I know in our Discord, a couple of them were talking about how they play quite a bit, and I'm like, where do you guys get the time?
Yeah.
My PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 4, folks. I haven't even gotten the PlayStation 5. My brother got the PlayStation 5 when he moved out. I'm like, damn, I kind of wish my brother didn't move out because at least I wouldn't have to go and buy a new system.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. My younger brother has himself the PlayStation 5, and I still have the 4 that I just literally play like once every 2 months now, if that. So, and it's not even at my house. I just have it chilling at my parents' house. So I didn't bring it to Toronto with me because I just don't care. I don't have the time to play it anyway. So it's really only there when I like go visit my family at my parents' place, to be honest with you. Anyway, totally off topic there. All-Star Game in Toronto for 2024. We got to figure out a way to like get some credentials here and like do something with Locked On Leafs and do something with this with the All-Star Weekend. We got to
I'm
do
very
it.
glad you didn't say let's do like a group thing where we go to the All-Star Game because I do not think that's going to be a very cheap event.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't know. Probably not. Although we could do like I don't know, some sort of get together, like I don't know, something that weekend if a lot of people are coming into town or in town. Or even like I know that Locked On Sens actually does this. They do like meetups and they go and they do like a live. I think they did a live pod once. They watched a game. They did a live post pod. If anyone's interested in doing something like that, maybe we could try and set something up where on a Saturday night, we go and we all watch a game at like one of these bars, almost like when Puck Talks did that thing in Toronto.
Yep.
And then after the game, we could do a live podcast and we can have people on, chat about it, ask us questions or whatever. If that intrigues anybody, let us know in the comments down below or reach out to us on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck at D_Morassutti. Maybe it's something that we can look into in the back half of the season here. But either way, I know we sat there and we just like dunked on All-Star Weekend saying how stupid it is. But we've always said that it's dumb it's not a TV product. It's a live in-person product. So for those in Toronto, I think they'll have a lot of fun going there. Like, is it going to be good on TV? Probably not, honestly. It'll probably be very similar to the way it was literally yesterday and the day before. But it'll be cool to be in that type of atmosphere with all those hockey people around and all the best in the world, in the city, and that part I think will be pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always said that's what the All-Star Game was meant to be. It was meant to be something and like they talked about how it was actually helping this like the city bring in some revenue, right? It's kind of how I wouldn't say how the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is just on another level, but just that's why these events happen. I guarantee when Toronto hosted the NBA All-Star Game back in 2016, like I remember a few of my friends like saying that when they were in school walking around downtown, they were like bumping into like seeing NBA players downtown. Like it just brings another element to that city. So that's why that's why they still have them. And that's why the certain markets get them at certain times.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary Bettman was talking about the benefits to having these games and whatnot, and it's not necessarily for your diehard fans. It's to attract new fans, the fair weather fans, and showing the game to like new people, and that's why they kind of go around the leagues and try and go to different markets. And I say it's been since 2000 since it's been in Toronto. Like that's the largest hockey market in the world. So it just goes to show it's not a money grab. They're just trying to build up fan bases and whatnot. But every now and then you gotta throw a bone to Toronto, right? You gotta go in there. I don't know if you saw the tweet also or the stir that Mike Rupp started. Okay, let's take a break. Dave. You got to pull these up, okay? Pull up his tweets and his videos. We got to talk about it. The stir he made over the announcement of Toronto getting to host the All-Star festivities next year. It's pretty good. It was a good troll job. we'll discuss it on the other side. But before we get there, Dave, why don't you tell the good folks about one of our favorite sponsors, Athletic Greens?
Yep, it's a product that I've been using every day because on top of trying to work out and trying to seem like I'm, improving my physique, Athletic Greens also helps me in many other facets of my life, including aging, recovery, focus, gut health, immune system, all of those things that I mentioned. This is something that I want to do with Athletic Greens. All it is one delicious scoop of AG1 into a glass of water, and I'm absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start my day off right. This special blend of ingredients supports gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. So all it just is, you take that one scoop of it and put it in water, you mix it around, and it actually tastes pretty good. It's also lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy free, or gluten free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. It supports better sleep quality and recovery, supports mental clarity and alertness. It's one thing with the best things. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iteration and third-party testing. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. And right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1 year supply of immune support vitamin D and 5 free trial packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. It's Mike DiStefano and Dave Morassutti coming off a All-Star Weekend. So there was no Maple Leafs in action. They're actually not in action all week. They're not going to be playing until Friday. It's a back-to-back against Columbus. So we've got a few days here where, we got no Leafs, I guess, to react to, which means we can get into some silly conversations. A lot of trade talk about what's going on around the NHL. I do have this list of players for I guess it's not draft picks, but it's 5 most attractive trade assets for the Maple Leafs. I think tomorrow we will save this for tomorrow, and we'll talk about that. So we were chatting about a couple of things before we took a quick break there, but the one that I want to get into really quickly first here is oh man, it's this. This is great. Mike Rupp, former NHLer. He works for the NHL Network. That's Hockey Talk Podcast, which is a Pat McAfee affiliate show. And he just loves to stir the drink, man. He just stirs up Toronto.
American media just knows how to get Torontonians going.
Does he ever, man? Does he ever? He's a good dude, though. Like, we've had him on Leafs Lunch a couple times. Like, he's a really good dude. Super knowledgeable, obviously. Played the game. So, but here's what he had to say after the NHL said that they was going to Toronto. He quote tweets it and says, "What a perfect way to celebrate AM34 and his farewell tour comes to a close." And you would imagine all of the comments that he was getting there. Like, everybody just knew that this was a massive troll job.
Locked On Centers, of course. Why am I?
Of course, Ross and Pilsy. Yeah, screw you guys. But like, so many people out there being like, "Are you kidding me?" Who are all up in arms. Did you see the video that he followed up with?
I've got the video. I got the video.
Okay. So after, obviously, we all were really upset about what was said by Mike Rupp, he issued an apology to Leafs Nation.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to apologize. I totally forgot Willie Nylander will be part of that farewell tour as well. So that's it. Good night.
Oh, what a guy!
I'll
What?
give him credit. That was well played. Well played. I'm just gonna say this to Locked On Senators account. You could only wish that Mike Rupp would talk about one of your players leaving one day.
That's right. That's right. Although they just signed everybody to like $8 million deals, no matter how terrible they are, like Thomas Chabot or Colin White.
Yeah.
But anywho,
You find out, just throw out an 8-year deal and they're gonna sign it. Like
Yeah.
a boat or that.
yeah, another deal that was signed. That was an interesting deal. Lou's getting soft in his old age, I think.
Did you hear what he said about when they asked him about the contract?
Yeah.
He's like, it's a lot of money in a lot of years. Well, no one forced your hand to sign it, Lou. You're the one that made the damn trade.
Actually, he said something even worse. He said it's too much money for too many years.
You know what? Lou Lamoriello is definitely right, because I think 8-year contracts is blasphemous.
Well, yeah, and it's something. Well, it's
I-
something that I think could be brought up about how they can make things different in the NHL to drum up some interest and whatnot, free agency, trade deadline. And I know that there's been some pushback from it, but potentially moving it from 8-year max to a 5-year max, and maybe what that could do for having a little bit more movements, in the NHL when it comes to player movement. So I don't believe that was talked about by Gary Bettman at the All-Star.
He had a lot of other things on his plate at that one.
He did, because did you also hear Sidney Crosby talking about
Sid. Speaking the truth? He's spitting out the truth.
Yeah, touched on that he would prefer the league go back to the 1v8 playoff format. I think Connor McDavid echoed the same comments, and Gary Bettman had to, I guess, defend the current situation, and essentially came out and they said, oh, we pulled guys a couple of years ago. They were happy with the way that things are. I think there's a misconception that the league or that the players or GMs don't want this, yada, yada, yada. And then went on to say, it's not just changing the format. Then we have to change the whole schedule and how many times teams play each other within the conference as opposed to in the division. And then that changes this and that. And he said it basically says it's a lot more complicated than just going to the 1v8 format. There's way more that goes behind it in order to make things fair and whatnot. So
it's more complicated to go back to a formula and a format that you originally had. Like, really, Gary, it's so hard to just say,
to be fair, there were only 30 teams at the time.
Ah, yes.
So, those extra 2 teams make it nearly impossible, clearly, to fit it all in.
It's funny because remember when they were first thought, we're trying to really push the rivalries in the division. Yeah. Oh, the rivalries in the division are going so well. Well, who's going to finish 1, 2, 3 in the Atlantic in November, Gary?
Yeah.
You know how many people I know that are checked out on the regular season right now? They're just like, we already know what's going to happen. We already know how everything's finishing. Why do I have to watch all 82 games?
Yeah, wake me up in April when it's Leafs Lightning.
Guess what? The ratings, he was also asked about the ratings, how they are down.
22% down in the States. Although, so that number, though, that's TV ratings, right?
Yeah, and I
would be curious to see if streaming numbers are up as an alternative.
Gary would not divulge that information. He said, even if I had the data, I don't even know if they would let me talk about it. I'm like, yeah, probably not wrong on that one, Gary.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just like I did see that report that was going around last week, and yeah, I think that it was a little bit disingenuous because it mentioned TV ratings down 22% for hockey year after year, but also if you look at it, everyone's cutting the cord. Like, cable subscriptions are down across the board, not just with hockey. I mean, look at all sports, look at all programming. Cable subscriptions, TV subscriptions are all decreasing. But then you go and you compare it to streaming platforms, and those are all starting to go up. So it's a little bit of a I don't know. I don't think it's as big a deal as people were making it seem last week. But anyways, that
No,
was
I don't think
the
it
thing.
was. Yeah, I do think you're right. I think, but I think when people see the NFL, like, did you not notice the NFL salary cap went up like almost $40 million?
Yeah, but also I keep hearing that the NFL's viewership keeps decreasing
I
on
don't know.
television,
Yeah. Uh,
or people just watching it on DAZN, like me,
yes.
or potentially you. You know
Sunday
what I mean? Like
ticket.
I no longer like I'm not subscribed. Like I cut the cord now. I'm just spending probably more money to be on all of these separately. You know, that's what we seem to do here in the year 2023. But anyway, you know, it's just kind of it's the way that we live in today's world. But yes, I did see that the salary cap in the NFL is going up a lot, a lot, a lot. But I think the NHL will go up soon as well. The Bally Sports one makes it dicey, right? They have regional broadcasts. I think it was for 12 of the 32 NHL franchises own the regional rights to broadcast their games. Like I know Florida does,
Yeah.
Carolina, I think Tampa. Like there's a lot of teams out there, the more smaller market teams, where Bally Sports is their, regional provider. And they may be going under. Gary Bettman said, we don't believe that's imminent, but if they do, we do have a contingency plan. So that doesn't sound overly assuring. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I was like, yeah, Gary, that sounds great. Like it just almost like he's trying to say we're not worried, but at the same time, we're planning for things to go bad.
Which I mean,
It's
they
fair.
need to do. They do need to
Of course.
do that. Like they can't not have a contingency plan in place for and just not broadcast any games. Like that would be a catastrophe
Yeah.
if that were to happen. So, but the fact that he did come out and say, I mean, we do have something in place in case this happens. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. But anything else that stuck out to you over the weekend?
I'm just trying to think. No, not really. I think like the Batman stuff was interesting. I think, everything he said was just wrong, and it just kind of shows a bit of that disconnect between what fans are saying and what the league is saying. And they're like, well, we had a bunch of the GMs say that they had no issues with it years ago. I'm like, ask those same GMs now if they feel the same way. And I don't think many would have the same opinion from a few years ago. People do once in a while change their opinions, Gary.
Yeah, they do. He did also talk about so the World Cup of Hockey / the Olympic. The
I'll
Olympic
believe it when I see it happen.
Yeah. I said like, oh, everyone, everybody has to concede a little bit. We'll see. Apparently the World Cup of Hockey, they're hoping for 2025 now. That's the hope to do in 2025.
Take away my ability to watch Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby play on Team Canada. Jerks.
Another year. Yeah. Another year we won't be able to watch that. I mean, at some point Crosby's going to retire and maybe we'll never see that.
That's why like this All-Star Weekend with Ovechkin and Crosby, they kind of were making it like a swan song kind of thing.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like Ovechkin's still trying to chase Gretzky, guys. How can we say that he's chasing Gretzky, but then we're having this like tribute sort of deal?
Well, maybe it wasn't for Gretzky or for Ovi.
It's not totally off. I know Sid he's up there.
What's his contract? How many more years does he have left on his contract? Like maybe that's coming up pretty soon. Because I know he signed a monster deal. He's got 2 more years. 2 more years after this one, but the salary has dropped off considerably.
Yeah.
So that was a very front-loaded contract. He was making 12 for a while, 10, 9. This year it dropped to 3. And then the final 2 years, it's also just $3 million. But after this season, he would have been paid 98 the $104 million contract he signed in 2013-14. Like, I don't know, maybe Sid is thinking about hanging him up.
Well, the thing is he is now, if he retires, he's the 35 plus. So the Penguins definitely don't want him to retire. That's the issue.
They don't want him to, but I mean, I don't know. It did feel a bit like the Swan song. Like it kind of did. I don't know. Maybe he wants to, a year or two, retiring a year early as opposed to a year too late type of deal.
It's not like Crosby's play has dropped off either.
Not at all. Not at all. But like, does he have to keep playing? Oh, maybe he just doesn't want to. I don't know.
I think maybe this is just like the realization that maybe he's just not going to be at the All-Star game. Like he's doing it and that's it.
Well, he never ever wanted to go to All-Star Game, so you're right. Maybe that's more so what it is. I don't think that Crosby's retiring.
No.
I just, it
no,
didn't
you're not.
feel like it.
I didn't believe.
Maybe he said to him, "I'll come this year, and then don't bother me again for the next couple of seasons while I'm under contract. Then that's it. So we'll do this thing with Ovi, and then don't bother me again next year or the year after. I'm outie. Send Gensel. Send Rust. Someone else."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, pal. Let's that was a fun little chat that we had there.
We somehow continue to try to make the NHL All-Star Weekend interesting, even though it was meh.
Very meh. Very, very meh. All right, that'll do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and subscribing to the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all podcasts and platforms, including YouTube, and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morassutti. Also follow the show at Locked On Leafs. If you could, leave a like here on this video if you're watching on YouTube, a comment down below as well, and a review if you're listening on iTunes as well would be greatly appreciated. Helps with the algorithms and whatnot. So that would be really cool, you guys, if you could do that, if you enjoy our content. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow. We're here all week. Leafs might be on a bye this week, but Dave and I are not. We're hard at work all season long. 5 videos, 5 podcasts a week for you guys. So we'll do the second of 5 tomorrow. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.